Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing you another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the DC Collectibles Batman The Adventures Continue Azrael. Now The Adventures Continue is a comic series continuing Batman the Animated Series, and it's allegedly canon in the Bruce Timm universe. DC Collectibles is actually making figures based off this continuation. I think that's really cool. And Azrael is going to appear in the animated series continuity. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging here. So you can see at the background, we've got the animated Batman. Batman, The Adventures Continue, DC, Azrael. This is the 52nd figure in the animated line. And here he is, Azrael in his armored batsuit. Looks like he comes with a bunch of different hands, and that's about it. Batman, The Adventures Continue, 52nd figure. At the bottom, not much going on there. And then at the back, just got an orange Batman. There is a barcode, in case that helps anybody, and some credits. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, and one to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch Batman-related unopened action figure collection. And this guy was part of a huge lot of figures I got in the mail. Huge haul today. Just look at all that awesomeness. The place I pre-ordered most of these DC Collectibles figures from ended up falling through, so I tracked them down, and what are the odds they all came the same day? Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He does come with 4 alternate hands, totaling 6 interchangeable hands, and a Batarang. So this is going to be Jean-Paul Valley as Azrael in his Batman armor. This is how he appeared in the comic Batman The Adventures Continue, a continuation of Batman the Animated Series. I actually haven't read the comics yet, although I do own them all. Looking forward to digging in very soon. In the Bruce Timm Batman the Animated Series universe, I don't believe Bane ever broke Batman's back and Azrael took over. This is very similar to the Batman armor he wore in Nightfall, Night Quest, and Night's End. So let's check out the figure. As you can see, here he is armored up. He's got those red eyes, got the little light that comes out of the middle. His shoulders are giant balls, and frankly, they look a little bit bad. I can see a little bit of paint bleeding off his belt there. He's got the signature sort of leg utility belt. Looks pretty cool. Not really feeling the proportions. Very skinny in the legs and very top heavy. Very similar to the other DC Collectibles Batman the Animated Series figures. So he will fit in with the same aesthetic. You can see he's got some of that cell shading on him, but really not much beyond that one mark. I really don't see any others. Cape sort of flowing to the side here. Overall, he looks cool, and it's very cool to have an Azrael in this continuity. And here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, and let's start off with his hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Here's his next pair of hands. These are some semi-open gripping hands. And then his final pair of hands. These are probably my favorite hands. These are some semi-open gripping hands with his claws out. Quite a bit different than his other hands, and it looks great. He sported some claw-like hands like this in the Nightfall comic. Now let's check out his Batarang. This thing is a bat symbol, all in blue, made of hard plastic. Here he is holding and getting ready to throw his Batarang. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to top, he's sitting at about 6.4 inches tall, which can translate to a little bit over 16 centimeters. And then if you go to the top of the ears, about 16.5 inches tall. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up and down about that much, and he can tilt from side to side a little bit. Shoulders on a ball joint, those huge shoulders. They can go about 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. Single jointed elbows, about a 90-degree bend. Got rotation as well. His wrists can rotate around, and it's going to be hinged as well. It's got a ball joint in his torso, can rotate around, can also go forward and back. It's got a traditional waist swivel below that. I notice his belt is kind of soft, it kind of moves out of the way a little bit. Legs here, ball joints. They go out about that far. Then go forward about that far and back. Not too much. Double jointed knees. He does have a little bit of thigh rotation as well above that. His ankles here, they go up and down. They can rotate and they can tilt and rock quite a bit. A lot for those little ankles. Here he is in the Batcave discussing matters with Batman himself. And here, taking out some thugs in Gotham. Then, here he is standing on a rooftop in Gotham. And then, here's a more of a modern Batman and family. Now let's check him out, compared with some other action figures. Starting off with some other DC Collectibles animated figures. Here he is with the rest of his wave. This is Series 1 of the DC Collectibles, the Adventures Continue figures. Here he is next to Series 2. I must say, this armored Batman is considerably more impressive than Azrael in the armored Batsuit. Now they did both reveal and show a Series 3 and 4, but I don't think either one is actually going to see the light of day after DC Direct's downfall. Series 3 was supposed to be a New Adventures Batman, Vampire Batman, Countman with an unmasked Selina Kyle head, and Batman, the Man Who Laughs. Amazon.com canceled my pre-orders. Big Bad Toy Stores retained them. There's still a glimmer of hope, but I think it's a very small chance. And then Series 4 was supposed to be Flashpoint Batman, Tim Drake Robin, Barbara Gordon Batgirl, and Talon. Even if somehow Series 3 comes out, I don't think there's a chance in hell for Series 4. Here are all the different Bat villains DC Direct made from Batman the Animated Series. They made all the main ones, but for my collection to be fully complete, I would like to have Hugo Strange, Lockup, Red Claw, the Clock King, Rupert Thorne, and Maxie Zeus. And here are all the Bat villains that DC Direct has made from the new Batman Adventures. Now let's check him out next to some other Azrael figures. Here he is with a Hasbro DC Superheroes Azrael figure. And here he is next to some Mattel Azrael figures. Then next to some McFarlane Azrael figures. Now those are all the Jean-Paul Valley as Azrael figures that I have, but that's not all the Azraels they've made. Here he is with some of his DC Direct and DC Collectibles brothers. Here he is with 3 other Azrael figures. These are all Michael Lane when he took over as Azrael. Now there is one DC Direct Azrael figure I don't have, and that's a Jean-Paul Valley in Batman armor from Nightfall. I'm still trying to track that one down. Here he is next to a DST or Diamond Select Toys Azrael from Gotham. This also isn't Jean-Paul Valley. This was Theo Galavan. And here he is next to a custom Theo Galavan I made. This is Theo Galavan in a business suit. In the TV show Gotham, he actually ran and became mayor of the city. That, of course, was before he died and came back as Azrael. And then, here he is with a custom Jean-Paul Valley in civilian attire. This is how he appeared around Nightfall and beforehand with long blonde hair. Here he is with my entire Azrael collection. Looking forward to the Mayfex version. Now let's check him out, compared with some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Here he is with some of his DC Direct and DC Collectibles brothers. That is probably my biggest complaint about the Batman the Animated Series line. They don't scale up with the rest of the DC Direct figures. I would enjoy them more if they were just a little bit taller. And here he is with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some McFarlane toys. And here with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And here he is next to some Mezco 1/12 cloth soft goods action figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here with some Mayfex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, here he is next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this figure's pretty cool, but I definitely have my personal complaints about him. Me personally, I'm not super fond of both the scale and style of these DC animated figures. They're very stylized, and they're shorter than I'd like, so they don't exactly fit in with the rest of my collection. Not even sure if that's a valid complaint against this figure, because it completely fits in with the rest of the line. His accessories, not super hot. The hands are pretty cool. I like the different claws. One Batarang. I feel like he should have come with his Sword of Sin and maybe a Jean-Paul Valley unmasked head. His articulation is actually better than most of the animated figures. Double joint knees, thigh rotation, ball joint in the mid-torso. Overall, if I had to rate this guy, I think I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. If he was a little bigger and his shoulders didn't look quite as awkward, he'd get at least probably a 7.5. I'm a pretty big fan of Azrael ever since Nightfall. I loved when Batman took the cowl back and then Azrael began working for him as an agent of the Bat. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.